If you're trying to get leaner, feel stronger, and actually see the muscle that you've been working so hard for, you might be wondering, should I bulk? Should I cut? Or should I do a body recomposition? It's one of the most common questions I hear from people wanting to look leaner and actually see some muscle definition. And in today's video, I'm gonna help you figure out exactly which one is best for you based on your current body, your goals, and most importantly, your mindset. I'll be going over what is a bulk, what is a cut, what is a body recomposition, and I'm gonna help you determine which approach is best based on where you're at in your journey in this current moment. There are a lot of factors to take into consideration, and I'm gonna go over all of them today. So let's get right into it. But of course, if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so you get a notification when I release a new video just like this one. My name's Michelle Roots, kinesiologist, personal trainer, nutrition coach, and fitness and fat loss motivation specialist. I have over 18 years experience in the industry helping people increase lean muscle and decrease body fat to become the strongest, leanest, and healthiest versions of themselves. And I created this channel because I want to help you as well. Bulk, cut, or recomp. Which one should you be doing? Let's start with some quick definitions. Bulking means eating in a calorie surplus, so more calories than your body needs, with the goal of building muscle. So of course, this is gonna work best when paired with a structured strength training program. Cutting is eating in a calorie deficit, so less calories than your body needs, with the goal of decreasing body fat. You're still lifting weights in strength training, but your main goal is fat loss and maintaining as much muscle mass as you can during this phase. And then body recomposition is a strategy where you eat at either maintenance calories or just in a slight deficit with the goal of increasing lean muscle and decreasing body fat at the same time. Progress in a body recomposition is a little bit slower, but often so much more sustainable in the long run. So now we know the difference between bulking, cutting, and body recomposition. How do you know which one is right for you? Here are a few questions you should ask yourself. Question number one, what's your current body composition? If you have a higher body fat percentage, say 30% or higher, and you just want a little motivation boost and you want to start by just slimming down or dropping some body fat, maybe starting with a cut would be right for you. If you're already relatively lean and you just want more shape and definition in your muscles, then maybe a bulk is what you need. And then maybe if you're just somewhere in the middle or you're just starting your journey, a body recomposition plan might be best for you. Now, I just want to point out, just because of those three statements I made, it doesn't mean that this is set in stone. And just remember that you are different. Everybody is different. This is just a basic framework. And it doesn't mean that just because you have a higher body fat percentage, you have to start with a cut and that is the only way to do it. I'm just giving basic guidelines for you to follow. But again, cater this to you individually. So based on your strength levels, your body fat percentage, if you've ever lifted weights before or not, what your schedule looks like, how many times per week you can commit to strength training. There are so many things to take into account. Moving on, another question you want to ask yourself when you're deciding whether you should do a bulk, a cut, or a recomp is, how long have you been lifting for? So if you are a beginner and you've kind of toyed around with strength training, but you've never really been on a structured strength training plan, beginners can usually see great results in a body recomp, even while eating in a slight deficit. Whereas intermediate or advanced lifters, i.e. people who have been lifting weights and strength training for quite some time, might need to do a bulk to kind of see that bump in an increase in muscle mass, which would mean doing a bulk first to build muscle mass and then doing a cut cycle to decrease the body fat and reveal all of that beautiful muscle. Another question you want to ask yourself is, how consistent is your training and your nutrition? So how dialed in are you, or how dialed in are you willing to be? Well, recomp is going to work best when you are dialed in with your protein, your workouts, and your rest and recovery. Whereas a bulk and a cut gives more of one specific goal. So if you're bulking, you are eating more, you're lifting all the weights with that goal of building muscle. Or if you're cutting, you're eating much less, you're still lifting, but the goal of decreasing body fat, there's only one goal. It's a little bit easier to stay focused, whereas a recomp, you have to be focused on all the things. And then the last question you want to ask yourself is, what do you want most right now? If you really, really want to decrease some body fat and you want to look leaner first, immediately, you don't really care about increasing your muscle, you just want to see more definition, then maybe a cut is right for you to do right now. But with that being said, if you have never strength trained before, or you're just kind of dabbling in strength training, but you don't have a lot of muscle mass currently, doing a cut is just gonna help you decrease body fat. But if you don't have any muscle under the fat, it's not necessarily gonna increase muscle definition. It will just decrease your body size, if that makes sense. So you will get a little bit smaller, but not necessarily more lean. If you wanna add curves and shape to your body and you wanna build strength, then a bulk is where you should start. A common request I get from women I work with is, I want to grow my glutes, I wanna see more muscle in my arms. If that is the situation, you will not be able to grow your glutes if you are in a cut or you're eating in a strict calorie deficit. And then if you just want a balanced long-term approach, meaning I really just wanna feel better, I wanna get stronger, I'm not in a rush to see any results. Like, I would like to see results, but I don't need to see them tomorrow. I really just wanna build healthy, sustainable, lifelong habits so I can not only see results, but I can maintain them long-term. Then possibly a body recomposition is best for you. I just wanna take a minute to thank today's video sponsor, Element, one of my go-tos for replenishing my electrolytes after sweaty workouts. Electrolytes are so important for so many functions in the body, including hormonal regulation, nutrient absorption, and fluid balance. Sometimes water just isn't enough, and Element has the perfect balance of 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. And better yet, 0 artificial sweeteners, no sugar, so no junk. Element can help prevent and eliminate headaches, muscle cramps, fatigue, sleeplessness, and other common symptoms of electrolyte deficiency. Right now, Element is offering my listeners a free sample pack with any order. That's 8 single serving packets free with any Element order. Get yours at drinkelement.com/Michelle. This deal is only available through my link. You must go to drinklmnt.com/Michelle. Now I just want to touch base on the mindset shifts and what to expect during a bulk, a cut, as well as a body recomposition, because I really do feel like the mindset, especially a lot of the women I work with, this is the conversation I have with them when we're trying to decide which approach is best for them individually. Because if your mind's not right and you're struggling mentally through a phase, you're not necessarily going to get the results you want. You want to feel good, and you want to make sure you're mentally prepared for what's going to happen in each of these phases, so there's never any shocks or feeling of failure, if that makes sense. And really, each of these options is going to need its own mindset shift. So let's talk about bulking first. During a bulk, you are eating in a calorie surplus. So you are taking in more calories than your body needs. So you could see a small increase in the scale. You could also see an increase in body fat, or what you could say fluff showing up around your muscles. But you are gonna feel stronger, you are going to feel more energetic, and you're building the foundation to look strong and very lean later on. So you have to be looking at the long-term plan. Now, if you are someone who mentally doesn't think they can handle seeing the scale go up, or I don't think I can handle going from fairly lean to starting to see some fluff in my arms, on my stomach, and that kind of thing. If you're not mentally ready or in a position where you think you can handle that and continue to remember the long-term plan and trust the process, then maybe doing a bulk is not the right option for you at this moment in time. And then the mindset shifts coming around a cut. So you're going to be eating in a steeper calorie deficit with that goal of decreasing body fat. What to expect here is scale fluctuations, hunger, slower strength gains. You will lose fat, but patience is key, especially if you are already fairly lean. So a cut is gonna have its own mindset shifts in that you are eating less and you need to be focused and stay in that calorie deficit to see results. And you need to be a little bit more disciplined to head to the gym and get your workouts in even when you're feeling drained or feeling low energy. You need to remember the long-term plan. I'm doing this cut for a set amount of weeks with that goal of decreasing body fat, and then I can start eating more again and slowly either reverse diet or go back into a bulk or whatever you decide is the right path for you. But again, if you don't think you're mentally strong enough to eat in a calorie deficit and say no to certain foods and have a little bit more restriction, then maybe a cut isn't right for you. And then lastly, what are the mindset shifts when it comes to a body recomposition? I would say the most important thing that I warn people about or talk to clients about and what to expect during a body recomposition is progress is very subtle. You are not gonna see instant gratification with the number going down on the scale. And because you're increasing muscle and dropping body fat at the same time, you are not gonna notice that. One thing I say, especially to women I work with, is we see ourselves in the mirror every day, and these small changes are happening. They're so tiny every single day, and you're not gonna see or notice those changes. Especially as women, we're still gonna look in the mirror and actually look at the place that we don't like the most about our body and still just stare at that and be like, well, yeah, my arms are fine, but I still have this, right? We can laugh about it, but let's be honest, it's the truth. So this is why in a body recomposition, you have to be mentally prepared for slow and steady progress. You have to trust the process and know that this is the long-term sustainable plan. What I always tell people is give yourself a year. Mentally, just say, 1 year from now, I'm going to be a different person. Don't give yourself 6 weeks and say, why isn't this working? Why am I not jacked? Why am I not lean? In your head, be like, give myself a year to transform my body. Not saying it'll take a year, but mentally, if you give yourself a year, that mindset shift is really gonna help you in a body recomposition journey. This is where progress pictures and measurements are going to be your best friend in a body recomposition especially. You're not gonna see huge changes week to week, but month after month, you will see a huge difference. And then what to expect physically from each of these options. In a bulk, you're gonna experience stronger lifts, rounder muscles, and a fuller appearance, and possibly a little bit more body fat gain. In a cut, you're going to experience a leaner look, possibly more definition, and then possibly some slight strength loss. And then in a body recomposition, you can expect to feel your clothes fitting better, improve strength, and then slow and steady progress in fat loss and muscle gain. So if you've maybe decided so far in the video which one you want to approach and which is the best option for you and where you're at right now, physically and mentally, let's talk about timelines. How long should you be in each phase, and when is it time to switch to a different phase? With a bulking phase, you wanna aim for at least 3 to 6 months so you can really see some meaningful muscle growth. You will be able to assess as you go, maybe at the 3-month mark, and be like, okay, I feel like I'm stronger, I feel like I've put on some muscle, now I'm ready to do a cut. Or you might be like, I'm feeling really good, I wanna keep going. And that's where you will assess from your own individual experience how long you are gonna stay in a bulk. And the same goes for a cut. Typically 8 weeks to 16 weeks. It's a little bit more intense and harder, so you don't wanna stay in a deficit for too long to avoid some metabolic adaptation. And then after that, you're either going to maintain or you're gonna reverse diet out of that cut. There's also something I like to call a mini cut, which I actually have an entire video explaining what a mini cut is, and that's another option right here. I'll link that video in the description below if you're curious as to what a mini cut would look like. And then lastly, a body recomposition. This is more of the long-term plan. Like I was saying, give yourself 6 months, give yourself a year to see noticeable changes. This is best done when you can be patient and consistent with both your lifting and your nutrition. So how do you know when it's time to switch out of whatever phase you are doing? 1, you're no longer progressing. So you're not seeing any more fat loss, or you're in a bulk and you're not seeing any more strength gains, and your body isn't necessarily changing anymore. Another sign that it's time to switch is your current phase is taking more of a mental toll on you and you just can't hang on anymore. And then the last option is you've either reached your muscle gain goal or your fat loss goal or your body recomposition goal. Maybe it's time to switch into a maintenance phase and just ride into the sunset. So there you go, guys. That is all the information and the quick breakdown I wanted to give you on when you're starting your journey, or maybe you've already started your journey and you're like, everyone keeps telling me I should be doing a bulk. Should I be doing a bulk? I hope this video answered your questions and helped you decide, again, because everybody is different, everybody's mindset is different, and everybody's long-term goal is different. Bulk, cut, or body recomposition, there you go in a nutshell. Any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I always do my best to get to all of your questions. If you need more help with your nutrition or your workouts, you can learn more about my one-on-one online fitness and nutrition coaching program, where you can work with me in my online coaching app to get you to your fitness or your fat loss goals. I'll link more information to that program in the description below. I also have an 8-week done for you beginner friendly strength training plan. I have both 3-day and 4-day splits, dumbbell only or programs for the gym, which are a great way if you've never followed a regular strength training program, applying progressive overload and really focusing on building muscle. That might be a great place for you to start. I'll also link that program in the video description below. And as always, have a great day, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.